Golic and Smetty here.
And welcome to the Super Bowl edition of Golic and Smetty. I am Mike Golic Sr. She is Jess Smetana. We are at Super Bowl 57 in my half-the-year hometown of Phoenix, Arizona. So I get to sleep on my own bed, which is cool. We're getting into that with you because we have a serious question to ask out there. But I think this is my 26th or 27th Super Bowl. How many is this for you?
Well, considering I've only been alive for 28 of them, I haven't been to that many. I've been to 2 Super Bowl of like the actual games, but this is the 4th one that I've been to like the media.
Like working.
Yeah. So 4, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't expect you to have as many as me, but I didn't realize.
Well, you did seem like you were trying to like alpha me there with like, I'm a pro. I'm Mike Golic.
60. How could I alpha you? I've worked at ESPN for years. We always go to the Super.
Keep bragging.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. I'm sorry. You know, I'll just shut up. How about that?
Well, no, because we have to do a show, and I need you.
But so we're doing this this podcast in Radio Row. Radio Row is always and I'm kind of glad it's back to what it was because we went through the couple of years, obviously, with
virtual.
COVID. But this was always such a crazy time when you just walk around. This is when former players and current players, quite honestly, who aren't in the Super Bowl, roam around selling their products.
Right.
And everybody tries to get them on their air. And there are guys just hanging out. When they see a celebrity walk in, they try and go grab them and sit them down. Did you have to do any of that?
Yes. Yeah. I've been on the wrangling, producing side of this. It's very hectic, like you said, and you get like 10 minutes to talk to an athlete, and then their PR person grabs them and yanks them to their next interview. It's usually a very hectic experience.
So I will not divulge the person's name, but when I won't even say it because you'll mock me. When I was working for somebody else doing a morning show, we were at a Super Bowl.
You did a morning show once? That's crazy. I didn't know that.
When is this going to end? That's all I got to say.
I'm sorry. I'll stop.
No. I'd like you can continue. You know, because after we do this, I'll just call your father and tell him that you've been mean to me. And we know whose side he'll take.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay.
All right, go on.
So we're at a Super Bowl, and it's one of those situations where a former player, and this, by the way, was a great player.
Okay.
A Hall of Fame player.
Okay.
Who was and I'm not sure if this is the exact thing, but you'll get it. Let's say he was pushing Visa or something like that. Okay. So he's on, and we're live. This is a live show, and it's one of those where you tap the card. It's when the new tap. This is like over a decade ago when the tap thing came out, like at gas stations. And so Visa, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And so we talk football with this person, and then we get to, okay, you know, what are you here for? Who are you working with? Blah, blah, blah. He said MasterCard.
Oh, my God.
He said MasterCard.
I can't believe Joe Montana would do that.
No, it was not Joe Montana. Nobody from Notre Dame would do something like that.
I mean, to be fair, he probably was rep by MasterCard the year before and just forgot.
You know what? Very well could have been, but I guess the reps for who he was supposed to be saying it for was standing with his agents off camera, and they were like, you don't think he's going to do that again, do you? So, I mean, we were like scrambling to, Visa, and trying to help him out and stuff. But, oh, my God.
That's
what a gaffe that was. Yeah, it was. It was wasn't uncomfortable for me. It was uncomfortable for him.
I would have secondhand embarrassment.
Would you really?
I have severe secondhand embarrassment for other people.
I just thought to myself, damn glad that wasn't me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was a tough call. So we're here all week. Whether it's working like we're doing now or going to parties, or we did and we're going to bring my son up in a little bit. We also doing a very cool thing that we can't talk too much about, and I should let you do that more because I might say something I shouldn't.
I'm afraid that I'm also going to say something that I shouldn't say. So all I will say is that we shot a video this morning with PGA Tour 2K23.
Yeah.
It will be out later this week. It was a little competition that we did. It was really fun, but that's all I can say. I can't spoil anything.
It was me, Jess, and Mike were on one team, and then there was another team that we were going against different things. The thing about it is it was at the Waste Management.
Yeah, which was
awesome, right?
Really cool. I've never been before.
I had neither.
Really cool.
Because the Super Bowl is always the same weekend, and so I was always working the Super Bowl, so I could never go to that.
Right.
Now, since it's in the same place, we were able to go over there, and
Yeah.
we're going to go over there later in the week and watch some golf as well. Where we were was right on the 16th hole, which, oh my gosh.
It's gorgeous.
Isn't it unbelievable?
Mike, I will say one thing that I am a little resentful about with you is that you didn't tell me that it's actually very cold in Arizona this time of year. And my teeth were chattering the entire time I was there.
It is not cold. It's all relative.
It's freezing. It was 40 degrees this morning. I was wearing like a skirt.
You know what? Go to Minnesota then. Go to
I'm not going back
South
to Minnesota.
Dakota.
I will never go back there.
Go to somewhere. Go to Chicago, and then tell me it's cold here.
40 degrees is cold in Chicago and Minnesota too.
Yeah.
When I did the Super Bowl in Minnesota, which you were also at, 40 degrees would have been sweet relief.
That would have been. That was brutal there. Well, listen, nobody told you to wear the golf outfit that you wore. Okay.
There's a reason that I wore that, and it was because I packed a pair of pants in case it was too cold out. Which it was, but I was trying to be judicious with what I was packing and wearing and everything. I didn't want to check a bag. So I wore the pants on the flight yesterday, and I committed a rookie mistake on my flight.
Wait, so before you even got here, you committed a rookie mistake?
Completely screwed up. I got upgraded to Comfort Plus. I fly a lot.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm going to get a little glass of...
You talk about me doing humble brags.
Well,
this
was just
that?
a brag. This was just a brag.
All right.
So I was like, I'm going to get a little glass of red wine. I'm going to snooze. It's a long flight. Red wine, nighttime, will knock me out. So I drank like half of a cup of red wine. Completely it knocks me out.
Oh, no.
Instantly.
Where was the half a cup of...
I woke up to the feeling of myself accidentally, somehow I dumped the rest of the cup of red wine.
Did you do one of those movements when you were sleeping?
I jerked awake, dumped red wine all over my lap. And so the pants that I was going to wear today were covered in red wine. I got red wine on my white sneakers. There was red wine in my seat. And for 3 hours of this flight, I was just soaking wet, sitting in red wine on this flight. It was mortifying.
So you're going to be able to because you came with limited clothes, and I get it. You don't want to check a bag,
right?
So you do want to be judicious with what you bring. So now you got to wash them, right?
Well, luckily I have a family friend who's letting me stay with them so I can use their washing machine. And I went to their house today, and no one was home, and it was one of those like, come over and help yourself to whatever you want, whatever. You're welcome. Like, this will be great. And I was like, cool. But I got there, and I was starving because we were at this golf thing all morning.
Right.
And I opened the fridge and looked, and there was like a huge thing of chicken salad. And I was like, is it? I haven't seen either of the people that I'm staying with yet. I can't start stealing their food before I've even said hello.
It's not stealing. See, this is a question, and I'd imagine other people have been involved in something like this. Hell, you and your boyfriend came and stayed in our place in South Bend.
And you had a humongous Martin sub in the fridge that was calling my name the whole time.
And what did Chris and I, my wife, tell you to if we weren't around?
You said we could eat whatever we wanted.
I'm not one of those, if you come to my house, that I'm going to wait on you hand and foot. I'm just not.
No shit.
And it's not just you, but it certainly wasn't going to be you.
Nobody thinks that you would ever wait on anyone.
So what I say is, help yourself. Okay? If you see something and you want it, take it. Okay? I give you carte blanche.
It's weird when you go into a person's house and they're not even home, and you just immediately go in the fridge and take their food, even if they say it's fine. Like, I felt a little awkward.
Let me tell you what. I ever come stay in your place and you sell that to me, you're going to have to go shopping the next day.
You're going to steal my food out of my fridge?
No, it's not stealing.
I guarantee,
because you offered it.
Mike, there is nothing in my fridge that would be remotely of interest to you.
That's probably true.
There's like 5 blocks of cheese. And
I do like cheese, though.
Okay, well, then maybe you would like it.
So you went to these people's house. They gave you the garage code.
Yeah.
They said, help yourself to whatever you want.
Right.
You went in there. They got a pool. They got, I mean, so very smart move by you to stay there instead of a hotel. So you're sleeping on a better bed. You got, great, great ambiance there.
Yeah.
Amenities. That's the word I was looking for. That's when I trying too hard.
I got you.
And you wouldn't eat anything out of their fridge.
No, that's so rude. I'm not just going to steal their food.
It's not rude. They offered it to you.
It just feels, and there's the other thing, Mike. When someone comes over to your house, there's always food in your fridge that you're like, this is a little yucky, and I'm probably not going to finish this, but I don't want to throw it away yet. And when you go to someone else's house, you don't know what those items are in their fridge.
Well,
you don't know if there's something in there that's like probably.
I would have hoped you'd have ate the stuff that maybe was spoiled, that you'd got it out of the house.
Well,
and I wouldn't have to worry about it.
Then I would not be here right now because I would be vomiting in these people's bathrooms. But you never know what someone else's yucky food is.
So
you know what I mean?
So you're going to wait until they're home.
Yeah.
And then
you have to get the in-person verbal okay.
Why? They gave you the okay.
But like it was via text, and it was like, oh, I have fun. We'll see you later. It wasn't like there's this in the fridge. Help yourself. It wasn't like anything like that.
How about in the freezer? Do they have like waffles or something? Did you check there?
I was so tempted to look in the freezer, but then I was like, realistically, if I look in this freezer, am I really gonna like turn on the oven? Like that would be weird.
Well, no. If they have like waffles, you put them in a toaster. Maybe they have some whipped cream in the fridge.
I really thought about it, but I was like, no, that would be even more bizarre. That would be too much. I shouldn't start cooking the minute I get into their house.
I'm so disappointed.
I know you are. I'm
so
sorry.
disappointed.
I'm sorry.
All right, you know what? You're just too nice. You're too damn nice.
I put myself second all the time.
Listen,
sacrifice my hunger for other people's hospitality.
I'm gonna get the nice out of you at some point.
Okay.
You're gonna be hanging around me enough
I'm gonna turn into an a-hole like your son.
Yeah, it's exactly right. So the one thing else about Super Bowl week is there are a ton of parties. Now they'll start later in the week. Once Thursday hits, it's bedlam. Unfortunately, up by me, I know that I'm sitting there complaining. The Super Bowl's here, and I get to do all this fun stuff. They're doing all kind of construction on the roads up where I live, though. So the traffic is horrific. So I'm just openly complaining about that. But there are great parties.
Showing your age a little bit.
Yeah, I know.
Traffic.
My patience, yes. But when we were driving back from the event we did, me, you, and Mike was with me after we dropped you and Brandon off, and Mike was doing a lot of complaining in the car.
Well, I heard you say, I won't say what it was, but you said a 4-letter insult for a person that cut you off.
Did they deserve it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was genuinely shocking to hear.
Really?
Yes.
Did you not think I had that in me?
I knew you had it in you. It was honestly very funny.
Yeah.
It wasn't rude so much as it was funny.
I thought the delivery was on time.
Timing,
I thought it was right there.
That was what surprised me. No offense. Like you're a funny guy. But I didn't.
But I'm old, right?
The cameras were off.
Yeah.
This was for no audience. This was just for the people in your car, and it was on point. I'm not going to say what the word was.
No.
I don't want your
do that.
Notre Dame diploma rescinded.
Oh, he talks like that. So the parties, if the big ones are, I mean, there are a lot of big ones. From company. Like big ones, like Sports Illustrated, Maxim, and all that kind of thing.
I used to have to work at those.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's right. You were SI. Yeah. So what did you have to do?
It was very strange. So we'd have to host the red carpet and like film stuff for a sizzle reel. A lot of it was like internal stuff.
Right.
And then the trade-off was like we got to actually go to the party, and everyone else that worked at Sports Illustrated didn't get to go. Only the people that worked in like video production got to go.
Really?
But it was weird because you'd be at these parties and there'd be tons of celebrities and athletes and all these people walking around, and it's just very. It's like, seeing a fish out of water a little bit. It's just kind of confusing. Like the last one I did was in Miami, and I was just like walking around and like looked up, and Sammy Sosa was like 5 feet away. And it's very bizarre to see one of your childhood favorite baseball players like at a party 25 years later. It's just weird, but it was fun.
I'm not going to lie. I think most of the parties, because I used to go to them all the time, but the one thing about it is, when I worked on this other show that was early in the morning, going out and staying out late did me no good.
Right.
I mean,
well, you had like a 4 a.m. wake-up call every year.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But, and I wonder if you agree, now, of the parties you've been to, I think, in all honesty, most of them are overrated.
Yes, I agree.
I think everybody wants to be there just to say you were there.
Yeah.
And because I like to people watch, but I think you go to them and they're too dark, they're too loud, you can't get drinks quick enough, and there sure as hell isn't enough food at these things.
Not to sound like you, a 60-year-old man, but to me the trade-off is like, how hard will it be to get home from this event? If it's going to be remotely frustrating to get into an Uber and get home, I don't want to be there. And it will ruin my whole night stressing about how I'm going to get home.
Welcome to the old age, youngin'.
It sucks being an old man when you're 28 years old.
Yes.
But that's what I've become now.
Yes.
And so I think the last Super Bowl that I went to was the one in Miami, and that was probably I went to the SI party there.
Miami's horrific.
Got home at 3 a.m. It was horrible. And the next day you go to the Super Bowl, a shell of a human being.
I know you live there now. And I know you do the show with Dan and Stu there.
Miami's horrific is a great line from you, though.
Miami is horrific. I would. There should never be a big event in Miami. The traffic is horrible.
The traffic is horrible every day.
Well, yeah.
When there's an event in town, it is
Horrible.
unfathomable.
And listen, I've already had my say about Miami fans. I'm sorry, but I'll say it again. When I was there in '93 playing, we were 9-2, had the best record in football. The best record in football with Dan Marino as our quarterback, and we couldn't sell the stadium
Was
out.
he the Visa MasterCard guy?
No, he was not.
Ah, dang it.
No, he was not.
I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
Dan and I did Nutrisystem stuff together.
That's
yes,
right.
yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Did you ever accidentally call it Weight Watchers?
No, I did not.
Okay.
No, I did
Well,
not.
then
I
there you
tried
go.
very hard not to make those mistakes. But yeah, we couldn't sell out there, and we had the best record in football. So
Yeah.
I've had a little thing, against
You're anti-Miami. I get it. I
Yeah.
mean, the weird thing about Miami that I've learned living there is that rush hour starts at like 1:30
Yeah.
in the afternoon,
Yeah.
and it doesn't end till like 8 p.m. and it's very
It is crazy.
confusing.
So, yeah, it is. I agree.
Yeah.
All right, so you know a lot of the events here. Maybe you could rattle off more than I can. But if you could only go to one event where you get tickets for it, VIP tickets even.
Oh, VIP tickets.
VIP
okay.
tickets. I had them last year to Shaq's Funhouse, but
Oh,
I won't.
okay.
I don't want to say that.
Okay. Yeah,
loud.
sure.
But if you could just go to one, what would it be?
I already am going to it. It's Waste Management. I've wanted to go. I know it's not technically a Super Bowl event.
No, that's fine.
But I've wanted to go for years, and I finally am getting an opportunity, and it kind of coincides with being here for work. So I didn't have to pay my way down here, which is a little bonus for,
yes, it is.
for when you're working.
Yes, it is.
I'm really excited, though. I've always wanted to go. I don't know who. I know Rory's playing in it.
It's always
he's
a fun.
one of my favorites.
I'm always amazed that the golf, for those that don't know, and if you don't, I don't know how you don't, the 16th hole Waste Management is the par 3, and it's like the Happy Gilmore hole.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, there was a hole-in-one last year, and all kind of beer and beer cans got thrown onto the green. And there are players who won't play in this because of that hole.
I mean, it is so we were playing like no consequence golf in front of a crowd of like 10 people videoing us earlier. It was nerve-wracking just to have like 10 random people watching me like putt. I was like, I can't.
It's tough.
I don't know how professional golfers do this when the crowd is so rowdy like that.
But to have a player say, I'm not playing in the tournament because of that hole, I say go away then, man. if you can't have one
You would not want to play in that. Are you
kidding?
I
would love to play in that because the only way I would play in it,
you would
Jess.
ham it up too. I know you would.
Right, and I wouldn't care if I got booed. And the only way I play in it is if it was in the Pro-Am.
Yeah. And
like I said, I'm never around. I'm usually at the Super Bowl for it, and I would have found that fine line of drunk and sober.
Yeah.
I mean, when I play like that, I'm popping that swing oil.
I don't think if you're on the PGA Tour.
No, that's what I mean. For me, it could only be in the Pro-Am.
Different set of
so
circumstances.
I would probably shotgun a beer immediately before hitting that.
You would be a legend.
So that would nerve you out if you were you were in the Pro-Am and it's going to be packed.
I am such a nervous person when people are watching me play golf. Even at your golf tournament over the summer.
Really?
At the one hole that you were on that I think we both hit the same shot, like from the fairway onto the green, I was like, shit, I'm going to screw up just because Mike's here.
But you're a good golfer. Why do you let it get to you?
Only when people aren't watching.
Oh, Jess.
I can't do anything like people are watching me. Luckily, no one's watching us right now on Radio Row.
Yeah,
They're
that's
all
true.
talking to Gojo on the side.
A lot of people have been walking by looking at you, though.
Well, that's fine.
Okay,
well,
I was trying to get you.
As long as I don't have to do anything athletic while I'm
trying to get you nerved out there. Yeah. All right, so it's Waste Management for you. I was at the Shaq's Funhouse last year when it was in LA. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Funhouse, it was fun.
I would hope so, yeah.
But it was like indoor, outdoor. It's massive, which isn't shocking because Shaq is massive. They had it was very cool. Like one of the first acts they had was like an acrobatic act where they brought out like the strong men throwing the women and the women bouncing off the boards and they're heaving them in
there. So
there.
it's like a circus.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Okay.
But they had a bunch of stuff going. Though I left at about 11 because I was tired.
Well, that's probably when I would have left too.
It's probably when all the fun starts. So.
Respect.
Because I was at that, I think maybe this year it would probably be, if I can only be at one, maybe Gronk's beach party.
Okay.
But again, it's probably not for me, right? I mean,
right.
Again,
Gronk's
I'm 60.
Gronk is probably not like, what would Mike Golic like to do?
I mean, I could break out my thong and give it a go.
That's all right.
No?
I think the world has seen enough of that.
You sure?
But the target demo I'm going to go with for Gronk's speech party this year is probably like senior at Arizona State University.
Probably not senior in life.
Mike Golic senior.
Yes, very good.
Yeah, thank you.
And plus, one of the reasons I would like that one because it'd be like more our college days, like a darty. Right?
Oh,
it's like a day party,
I
right?
haven't heard that word in years.
Oh, I know. Well,
a darty.
Again, you're mocking me, right?
No, I really was serious that time.
But I mean, how great is a darty? Right? You're partying the day.
That's what waste management is. That's why I'm excited to go to waste management. It's one big golf darty.
By 5, 6 o'clock, you're slamming some food because you had too much to drink, and then you're done. You're asleep. You can actually get a decent night's sleep.
It sounds like your perfect day.
Yeah, it maybe is. Well, the perfect day is going to be Sunday for the Super Bowl, so we should talk some Super Bowl. My son's going to come up here at some point once he starts talking to everybody else. Yeah, come on up. But, Kansas City and Philadelphia, the one thing that I have enjoyed, Jess, about not only doing this for DraftKings, but I've been calling games for Westwood One all year, and now for the last 2 years, I've been able to actually work the Super Bowl. Because I never, in all those times the Super Bowls I went to, I never stayed for the game.
Because you had to be on your morning radio show that I just found out about at like 4 a.m.
Monday
after.
You shocked I had a show, right?
Right.
And then, so I would leave on Saturday. But since the last year was the first time I worked a Super Bowl, and once you do that, and now you're one of the partners, like this year it's Fox and Westwood One. So at the event Monday night when they go out and meet the masses of the press, we get to talk to all those people before, all those players before, and I'll talk more about that after this. All right, my son, Mike Golic Jr., or Gojo from the Gojo Show.
Oh, my God.
Gojo.
60 going on 90.
Gojo.
He sounds so annoyed that you have a nickname.
The internet.
Air quotes.
My son, who you probably know by his name, Mike Golic Jr. on the Internet of Things.
www. All right. So before we get into...
We're naming URLs.
Man, what a time. / semicolon or full colon. HTTP /
Are you guys done? You guys done mocking me?
Go ahead, yes.
You done mocking me?
Let's talk about football now.
My God. No, before we talk about football, Mike, Jess and I were talking about the cool thing we did at TPC.
Yes.
And we were both afraid to kind of talk about it because we couldn't give too much away.
Oh, we're not allowed to tell people? I'm telling everybody.
No.
This is great.
No. It's like he's not telling everybody.
I don't know if he's
not telling anybody.
Not
he's
on
just
air,
being a smart
Did you take
ass.
acting class at Notre Dame?
Yes, I actually did.
Did you ace it?
Yes.
Okay.
I was
Where do
great
you
at
think he
Because that
gets it
was
from?
good
Where do
acting.
you think he gets it from, Jess?
I was one of the leads in I believe it was Oliver Twist in 7th grade, and I had 3 singing solos before I hit puberty at the range.
I want some more.
Oh my God! Welcome, welcome, welcome to the family. I don't think it was Oliver Twist, but that was one of the songs.
Oh, okay.
It was good.
I don't know what musical that song is from.
I don't either, but I balled.
Okay.
And that's the important part. Welcome to Golic and Smetty on Radio Row, baby.
Wow.
Are you okay?
Wow.
I just did a bunch of hits out in the middle of Radio Row. It's like doing sports talk cocaine.
You did some hits, all right.
Oh, I went over to Maggie and Perloff, and they gave me M&Ms and a hand massager here. I'm on cloud 9.
This is how, when we were just talking about other Super Bowls we've been to, the one in Miami was significantly life-changing for me because there was a person handing out cafecito like at the media center. So I didn't know at the time how much sugar and caffeine was in a tiny little shot of cafecito, since I have obviously learned, but I was having heart attacks daily. And
well, that's what we had out there.
Before the crash. Yeah, it was.
What were they bringing us?
They were
was that what it was?
Yeah,
cafecito.
Tiny little cups
it was
of
unbelievable.
caffeine.
Now, just killing those things.
And we had Wingo with us, who again also did not know how much. He was ripping 8 a show.
Yeah.
And by the end was just pounding the table, trying to crush up and snort the Super Bowl.
Yeah. It was something. Here it's great because always the next place the Super Bowl is, they have a little. And I was out there getting coffee from them and treats. The Las Vegas Super Bowl committee, because that's where it is next year, is out. So I was getting some treats from them.
Some little treats. That's so cute.
Little treats.
They got some treats out there.
Yeah. Another former player came up again. I shall not name him because I'm going to rip him a little bit. He came and started complaining there was only candy. And then when I was putting cream and a sweetener.
You heard that? You were like, candy where?
I'm like, oh, no, I had the. I was just eating a Twix bar.
Why would LaDainian Tomlinson do that?
It was not LaDainian Tomlinson. And then started getting on because I was putting a sweetener in it and not honey. Honey's a natural sugar. Don't put that sweetener. You know what's in that? I said, dude, I'm 60. Let me drink my friggin' coffee how I want to drink my friggin' coffee,
Tell
okay?
Shannon Sharp to leave you alone.
Stop
Doesn't
it.
he have enough on his hands with the Grizzlies?
Listen, I ain't talking anything to Shannon.
No, those hands in that cardigan work.
Shannon can do his thing.
I did love the cardigan.
All right, so give us a tease, everybody a tease about what we did without giving anything away for PGA Tour 2K.
Oh, okay, so we could say that it involves golf because I was.
Yeah.
It's a
so
stick.
You weren't acting.
It's a stick sport.
Yeah.
That involves white
Sticking a ball.
Field
Oh, God.
Could it be lacrosse? Could it be field hockey? No, it was an incredible challenge and an opportunity for us to go and see out here a kind of union of events, the Waste Management Open that's going on here in Scottsdale this weekend. I had never been over to see that course. And to get to see it, because everyone talks about getting to go down to Augusta and what a transformative experience that is, and it's almost holy. This was incredible to see what a place looks like. Like, I only went in South Bend one time to Fever, Michiana's hottest nightclub, sober.
I was going to say you only went to Club Fever one time,
No,
but
sober.
Okay.
One sober.
And seeing it in the light of day
that was a shocking
I'd have been
statement.
embarrassed.
But I went to CJ's one time sober and seeing it pristine, full popcorn machine, all the chairs up, none of the floor sticky.
Really?
It was transformative. It was an experience that's become a core memory for me. And so to get to see the TPC Scottsdale course before it descends into debauchery this
it was
weekend.
really nice.
Yeah.
They did a phenomenal job.
took a time to relish the cleanliness of the porta potties.
They were, because they're going to be a mess by the end.
The best time of the week to use a porta potty.
Very true. Very true.
I used a porta potty today, and it was very clean.
Would it be fair to say for all of us that one of your worst nightmares is being inside a porta potty that gets tipped over?
I was thinking about that while I was in said porta potty because it was so clean that you could actually smell the blue liquid. It didn't just smell like human fecal matter.
Boy, you'd hate that all,
and it reminded me of the
you.
scene in Breaking Bad. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, yeah.
I think of that every time I use a porta potty.
If
What
you
if
get
I
tipped over.
fall in like Jesse Pinkman and I'm covered in blue sludge?
This could be blasphemy to people who love golf, but if you tell me I'm a golfer and I can only pick one iconic hole to play at a tournament, it would take a lot for me not to say the 16th here.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just crazy. People talk about at Augusta
Corner,
or, the 17th at TPC or whatever, and all the great holes out there. I just love this. And I was telling Jess, Mike, the players that won't play in this tournament because of that, I got nothing for them. I got nothing for them.
Strip them of their tour card.
Yeah.
Cowards.
It's ridiculous.
So it's the only course in golf and really the only hole in golf where they're forced to operate like the professional athletes in every other sport.
That's valid.
In that sport, I mean, we all make fun of LeBron James when he gets fans thrown out of stands for saying legitimately heinous things. There, if you burp and accidentally say cheeseburger at the wrong time or yell Baba Booey, everyone glares at you like you're Satan.
Yeah.
When in this game that we're getting ready to watch, Jason Kelsey's going to have to try and block a full-blown human grizzly bear named Chris Jones. And the whole stand's going to be yelling at him, and all of Philadelphia is going to descend on the Chiefs, and no one's going to hold up a please be quiet sign.
Yeah.
Please be quiet so
That's
the
a good
mean
point.
white ball doesn't hurt you. Get over yourself.
Yeah,
Wow.
I agree. All right, before we get to the game, will you tease what we did? You still haven't teased it.
I don't know how much to say.
I
just learned
He said
about
it was
this.
an incredible challenge, which is very
okay.
well said.
It was an incredible challenge.
It was a challenge.
It was a
I
challenge.
learned that I am better.
I'm just kidding.
I don't know the rules. I need to be briefed by someone here. I had fun.
It
we
was
posted
fun.
some pictures on Instagram already.
Yeah.
We got
Well,
to
I
sit
had
on
to
the
get those
Iron
out.
Throne.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was cool. Jess was
I need
really
my
cold.
Instagram likes.
This is where we learned and were reminded how much residual body fat you and I have, Dad, from being large at one point. And just how small Jess is in comparison because she was so cold the entire day.
Yeah, she
and
was.
I was just over there like, this is perfect weather.
Yeah, I feel good. Yeah, but it was a lot of fun, and the three of us were a team. We were on one team, and we went against three other people. We won't say who won or lost. We won't say any more than that. It just involved golf.
Team, golf. Jeff, can I say the V word?
What is the V word?
Video game.
Oh, okay.
Do people know it was a video?
I was like, what V word are we talking
I was going to say,
about here?
Where are we going?
There's been a lot of talk about holes.
I was going to say this is a family show, but then I realized it's not a family show.
It's not a family show.
It's not a family show.
All right. Well, in segue,
okay.
Tommy Rees.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, how about that?
That's what we really wanted to bring you on to talk about. And we got down a weird rabbit hole.
Speaking of a guy who's had hands in weird places on me.
Yes. Tommy's hands were on Mike's ass.
Yeah. A lot of times.
Great segue.
Thursday practice is always really weird when you don't have the football pads on because it's just short. So you're under center and short.
Yeah.
So it's really, you're getting a little more personal, huh?
Sometimes you forget the girdle.
Yeah. How many times you snap the ball into your stuff?
Oh, once a day in pre-practice.
Yeah.
No joke. There's one every pre-practice because your goal, you're trying to think about the quarterback and like each guy you get a snap with. This was at the height of my worry when I was in camp with the Saints because I was the third or fourth string center. I'm an undrafted free agent, and Drew Brees lives there. And during pre-practice every day, you would have to take snaps with every quarterback in case guys get hurt. You've got to know where this quarterback puts his hands under center, what's his cadence like, get used to that. And so I had one snap every pre-practice with Drew Brees. And every day, it was the only thing I thought about because I could do whatever I wanted, and it was only going to affect my ability to make or not make the team so much. If I jam Drew Brees' finger before practice in the preseason, I won't even make it out of warm-ups. Gone. He's the franchise, so it is a tremendous amount of fear.
So there's certain quarterbacks that you're like, this guy's more left cheek, this guy's more right cheek, that kind of thing.
Oh, and there's some that get up under there, and they're really firm with where they put that top hand, and you can feel it. Some like to get deep into there.
Really feeling that knuckle, huh?
Oh yeah, they really like.
So what was Tommy like?
Tommy
was soft.
Honestly, Tommy got up in there. Like much like Tommy's personality, he's got that edge to him.
Yeah.
He'd get up underneath, and with a lot of those guys, you're setting your stance, and then they get up under, and they give you a quick tap to let you know they're there, and then they really put pressure on that top hand, and you kind of fall forward a little bit. And it's like Tommy every time you'd kind of lurch forward a little bit.
Wow.
He was forceful under there.
I've been thinking about your butt probably too much the last few minutes, but I actually want to get your thoughts on who Notre Dame should hire as their next offensive coordinator. A conversation that our audience probably would rather hear than what we were just discussing.
Than your butt being touched.
Well, and it's a tall task, right? Because for all the wailing that Notre Dame fans did about Tommy Rees, what he was exceptional at was using the resources that this program.
The resources.
The resources.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Thanks.
That Notre Dame is able to recruit, right? Great O-line, D-line, tight end school. Got a bunch of good running backs in the stable, and so you've got to find creative ways, especially he had young skill this last year. So that's what Notre Dame has been. As it's been successful in my adult lifetime, it has been based on those positions. And so you've got to find someone who's going to be able to use those chess pieces really well and make use of what's there as Marcus Freeman and company try to expand that. So, some of the names that you've heard batted around, I think Joe Moorhead, the head coach at Akron, who was a coordinator at Penn State, went on to be the coordinator at Oregon, head coach at Mississippi State, I think is a really strong play caller. The tenure at Mississippi State was complicated for a lot of reasons. The north-south divide was really apparent down there. I think he's a good one. I saw the Eagles quarterback coach, whose name's escaping me right now.
Johnson, I believe.
Brian Johnson.
Is reportedly going to interview after the Super Bowl this upcoming week, which obviously what he did down at Florida when he had Kyle Trask there, what he's been a part of with Jalen Hurts' development here. I think finding someone like that you've seen is able to be creative within the boundaries of the modern game. And I think that's what a lot of those coaches we just mentioned have had in there. Andy Ludwig's another name. Call Utah and see what's up.
So do we think that a guy like Sam Hartman, who's thrown, 75 touchdowns over the last 2 years for Wake Forest and transferred to Notre Dame through the portal, do we wonder if he's a little bummed at this? Because he came here, Tommy Rees was the OC, and now, listen, they're going to use his skills. I understand that. But remember, Notre Dame still likes to live on the run with the stable of running backs they have.
Well, and I think for Sam, part of the appeal was not having to do as much within the offense. What Wake Forest ran put so much pressure on the quarterback to make incredibly precise decisions inside a phone booth. And coming to Notre Dame, you were going to have a better offensive line and an NFL scheme that was going to put him in a position for him trying to extend his career into the professional ranks. And so I wonder now, because this is one of the first times we're seeing this situation. We've seen a lot this offseason where coaches and or coordinators and quarterbacks have met up in certain spots. NC State, when you look at the quarterback from Virginia that just transferred to there, and his old coordinator, Robert Anai, came from Syracuse to NC State. They rejoined there. Brennan Armstrong is his name. We haven't seen one where a quarterback's jumped and then the coordinator's left yet like this.
Right.
And I wonder, for a guy that was a prized get for this offseason, are you throwing names in front of him? Are you involving him in the we talk about it all the time with NFL quarterbacks who have influence on coordinator hires. Obviously, he's not going to dictate it, but you do wonder if some of it is predicated on, hey, there's another transfer window in the spring.
Right.
He doesn't have to stay.
Right.
And so are you trying to find someone that's going to fit what Sam wants
But
in
there's
the
also
offense?
a question of, does Sam know enough of the other coordinator? Sam's only been at Wake Forest. He hasn't been a guy that's transferred a couple of times, right? So
yeah, I think you take his input into account. It doesn't necessarily decide.
I just wonder how many he's going to know because he hasn't been to multiple places.
I think it's less know and more like, hey, you know what? Like, this is what this guy has done at certain places. What do you
think? Yeah.
And like, I think part of this is also when you were recruiting Sam, you know what his strengths are as a passer. He is so much football.
And you know
under his belt.
why he came to Notre Dame explicitly. I think you can assume it's because he wants to play in the NFL and he wanted a pro-style offense. So you're probably not going to hire, the Wake Forest offensive coordinator if he wants to keep running the slow mesh at Notre Dame.
Right. And who knows if he would, right? That's the other part of this.
It's a different
resource.
By the way, do I hate the slow mesh? I mean, I don't know if I hate it more than the fade, in the end zone.
You got a lot of slow meshes to fades at Wake Forest.
Oh, my God, no.
I mean, that was the offense.
It was real. And,
and he was great at it. So I don't know if it's completely different offense, different skill set. It's a better O-line. You have tight end weapons. We'll have Notre Dame will probably have better wide receiver talent this year, and you're still going to have, a run game. So.
And that's the thing.
Completely different.
You've got a great sell. Like what you just described is the package that you can put in front of any O coordinator and say, there aren't many places in college football where you're going to get this on offense inherited. All
right, so let's actually move to the Super Bowl.
Oh.
All right, so let's.
What a concept.
How about it? Kansas City, Philadelphia. Philadelphia, slight favorite at this point. Just to you, right out of the gate, when you saw these two teams were playing, what went through your mind as, oh, man, I can't wait to see this?
Patrick Mahomes against the Eagles' defense. The Chiefs have a way better offensive line than the last time they played in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is going to be banged up, obviously. The Eagles' defense is really good. That's going to be an interesting matchup to watch. I am totally at a standstill in my brain about who I think will win this game. I do not know.
It's brutal. It's the Mahomes factor. It's what you just mentioned is we have a case study for how far you can go without an offensive line and a quarterback of that caliber. Joe Burrow ran into the same thing.
Yeah.
And so you're right. Seeing those other things at a much better level, like the Chiefs' offensive line's really good, and they're healthy across the board. It's the guys that you came into the dance with, like Philly. I've picked the Eagles so far this week, and I have never once felt totally great about it.
Yeah, because you're betting against Patrick Mahomes.
And I don't want to do that
No one wants to do that. Because he makes you look stupid when you do that. That is
true.
Yes.
Talk about from the O-line standpoint. You're blocking now a defense that had 70. And listen, I was fortunate enough to be part of. I was an average player on the defense I'm talking about when I was in Philly with Reggie White and Jerome Brown and Clyde Simmons and Mike Pitts and Seth Joyner, and the way those guys could all get to the quarterback. These guys had 70 sacks in the regular season. The only team ever to have 4 with 10 plus. It was actually 4 with 11 plus, 16, and 3 guys had 11. So now you're the O-line for Kansas City. How do you break this down? Because you can't concentrate on 1 or 2 at the most is what you normally do. They have 4. And, oh, by the way, of the 4, Fletcher Cox isn't one of those 4, and he can still push you straight back into the quarterback.
Yeah, I think this is what the Chiefs do really well is an overall, part of pass blocking is on everyone. It's on the running backs. It's on the quarterback. Patrick Mahomes does a great job of mitigating sacks. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL at that. And with Philly, they like to get 5 guys up at the line of scrimmage, like 5 true D-line pass rushers with Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat on the bookends. And they want to get isolated one-on-one matchups. Cincinnati like to do the same thing. Not as much talent, but still really good D-line. And Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid do a really good job of, I think especially with the Mahomes injury, using more motion right at the snap, handing off, even if they're not going to work a lot early, a lot of those jet handoffs, getting screens involved in the game plan, all things, Dad, you know as a D lineman, kind of take the edge off a little bit, and these guys that want to be Ferraris and go fast and go forward all the time, make you think for a second. If you make a dynamic rusher think for a second, you give your line a better chance. They use their tight ends, especially on the Andrew Wiley side of things to try and help slow down that initial rush and give him help. So Andy Reid and this game plan overall do a really good job of helping their guys up front so that when you get to your one-on-one battle, I know, all right, I got help coming here. I can play this the best I possibly can in a matchup where a couple of these guys, they have a great interior three, but on the edge, especially on that left side, that Orlando Brown matchup is one I'm going to be fascinated to watch. I'd probably have Hassan Reddick on that side against Orlando Brown to see if they're going to continue to give you one-on-one matchups.
Nobody's talking about the other side of the ball, though, Jess, are they? Everyone wants to see Mahomes against that pass rush. How about Jalen Hurts in this running attack against that Kansas City defense with the man, the myth, the legend, Chris Jones in the middle?
Who I think were the main factor in the Chiefs making it this far in this game against the Bengals. Like, they performed really well against the, again, injured Bengals O-line. But Jalen Hurts, he's a little banged up, too. We really don't know the extent of his injury. So, like you said, that's going to be another thing to watch. I mean, this has been billed as like the battle of the trenches in this.
It's a very beefy Super Bowl.
It's a very trenchy game.
I mean, we don't even know how healthy all the Chiefs receivers are going to be. They were too tight for most of that game out of necessity when Tony and Juju went down. As long as
Kelsey's okay, right? I mean, Juju and Hardman, they're good players, but they're not.
And I think Hardman is probably not going to play. I know it's not yet, but he's got that hip. The other guys are going to play. Marquez and Juju, they're going to play. The
worry I have for Kansas City defensively is it was an incredible. Chris Jones looked like the best player on the field during that Cincinnati game. And then you remember the competition on the other side. Like, we probably overrated what the Bengals did in the snow against the Bills, and we're probably doing a little bit of that with the Chiefs. Like, Chris Jones just got his first postseason sack this postseason.
Yeah.
Frank Clark has been someone in recent years we've talked about disappearing in pivotal moments down the stretch. You're going up against the best offensive line in football now. And one that we just watched last week against the #1 run defense. Like, Jalen Hurts is banged up, and we saw him pull a lot of ones in that zone read game that didn't work early, but it's just about creating a credible threat. And you saw wide open holes after that for those running backs. I'm just worried. Football is a complicated game. It can get really simple when you can just say, hey, we're going to double team guys, walk them off the ball, and give our guys free space.
Is it fair to say the Eagles are the better team across the board, but the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes?
I said this in the championship games. The NFC have the more complete teams. The AFC have the better quarterbacks with Burrow and with Mahomes. That. So, and I feel so
I can vouch for him.
That doesn't change. No matter who was going to get in from the NFC, they were going to have a better complete team than the AFC team. But then we go, but Patrick Mahomes. That's always a thing. And to me, we talk about the quarterback with the two injuries. Jalen Hurts is a contact injury, right?
Yeah.
He's got to get hit there or get landed on or land on that shoulder. Mahomes, we saw the one play when he rolled left and threw back right where he just came up limping a little bit. It just takes one twist. One little twist from him, and he could be not back to square one, but not as efficient as he could be.
Let me ask you guys this. Jess, and I know you Steelers fan, Chicago background too, but in general with Mahomes, he's become the face of the league, really likable guy. Do you want to see him succeed? Because I find myself, like, we're not supposed to root for people, but selfishly as a fan, and especially for us considering age-wise we're peers, Dad, not to, like, alienate you, but you grew up with different quarterbacks.
You're old,
at that, you're an old man.
You're just old. I mean, I think, like, for me, it's incredibly hard not to be a hater of anyone who is incredibly successful, but I do find Patrick Mahomes difficult to hate. And it's interesting because the Tom Brady era of the Patriots kept the Steelers out of the Super Bowl so many times. There were so many AFC championship games, regular season games, playoff games where they knocked them out, and I hated Tom Brady for it. And that's going to be the next decade with the Chiefs probably in the AFC for all the other teams. But I just find Patrick Mahomes.
Man, that's how you want to paint him already, huh?
Patrick Mahomes, how do you not root for him?
I just think I'm selfish as a sports watcher, and this is how I was with LeBron James, where I wanted to see the greatest player ever in my lifetime. And with Patrick Mahomes, if he wins 2 out of his first 3 Super Bowls, a second MVP this season,
he started that road
all before he turns 28 or 29. That's an insane trajectory where we get to start having can he be better? Like, physically, he's already better than Brady. He's already. I mean, I was talking with somebody the other day. You can make an argument right now that Patrick Mahomes is already physically one of the 4 best quarterbacks ever to play football.
Yeah, I mean, with what he does, I would agree with that. And we know they're just better athletes today too. That's certainly and better athletes doesn't always mean better player, but in Mahomes' situation, it does.
He's got everything.
Yeah,
he's got deep statistics, raw statistics. He's got the wins. He's got the individual honors. He's got the team accolades right now. It's just. We're on the precipice of something pretty incredible as far as a sports talk, like Mount Rushmore conversation, the stuff that we love to have.
All right, one more thing, and then you can get out so Jess and I can finish our own show. I mean, you come on and just try and hog this thing.
Seriously, I have
Isn't
really
it
gotten
unbelievable?
a word in.
I know, it's unreal.
It's ridiculous.
Probably one of the coolest things of this is the Kelsey brothers, right? Jason Kelsey.
I was just about to say we almost made it through the whole show without mentioning the Kelsey Bowl.
I think it's the coolest thing. It's 2 brothers, first time they played against one another. And we were trying to figure this out before. I don't think there are any brothers in the Hall of Fame. And think about what we're going to get soon. Peyton and Eli. Travis and Jason are both getting in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And J.J. Watt for sure, and T.J. Watt is on that trajectory as well. So we could, in the span of 5 to 10 years, have 3 sets of brothers.
Ooh, here's a question for you. If Mike and Jake played against each other in the Super Bowl, would you pick your favorite to root for or do like the split jersey thing?
No, I would split because I do have my favorites during the day, without question.
I feel like you're definitely picking Jake.
anybody who says they love their kids equally is full of shit. You
right,
don't.
Of course.
Every day you rank them.
I mean, no one likes their parents equally either, right?
Oh, no, 100%.
What did you just say?
Why do you think I call Mom all the time?
Jess, I'm calling your father after the show.
Oh, he's my favorite, so don't worry.
Yeah. So I would do what my dad did when my brother Bob and I both played in the NFL. He was with the Browns, I was with the Oilers, same division, but both on defense. He got a 2-build hat. One had Oilers on it, and when the defense was on, he would have that. And then when the Browns were on defense, he would flip it around. So he wouldn't root for any team to win.
Wait, so it had a bill in the back and a bill in the front?
Yes, yeah. So when it just wore this way, it looked like a Houston Oiler hat.
Who made
and then
this hat for him?
Somebody made it for him.
Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I'm old enough to remember when Brady Quinn's sister wore the split
jersey.
Was that the beginning of them?
I think it's the first time I ever remember seeing it. Did sewing technology advance that year? Like we never had that
sewing
before.
technology?
I mean, why wouldn't that have been a thing before like 2007, whenever that was?
You think about Brady Quinn's tenure at Notre Dame. It produced the Bush push that changed the course of football forever and might have led to this Eagles team being as efficient they are in that moment, and the split jersey.
Yeah.
What a career.
All right, make a prediction.
Charlie Weiss Jr. maybe will be the next offensive coordinator at Notre Dame.
That would be something.
Yes, it would.
That would be something. Long odds on that one on DraftKings Sportsbook.
Make a pick and then get out.
Eagles.
Eagles. You have a score. Over-unders, I think, 50.
I had, I believe, 28-24.
Oh.
So I'll take the over. I think it's going to be a barn burner.
Okay. 28-24, put it at 52 if my math is correct. So it'd be the over. How about that?
That was good math.
You may be old, but you can still do the count.
He's from the era where they're like, you will never have a calculator in your pocket. You have to learn mental math. And then our generation was like, yeah, but we do have calculators on our iPhones.
Oh, I had the TI-83 in college. I used to be able to cheat so well with those. You could put full study guides on that and video games.
Here's the problem with your generation. I'll tell you right now. Okay?
Have you ever done the times tables thing with him? It's insane.
No.
I'm great at simple math. I was great at flashcards. Flashcards, I was phenomenal.
I got nothing on flashcards.
Flashcards, but I'm great at that simple math stuff.
11 times 12.
But except when it's like double numbers like that.
So it's only 9 to 9. Is
pretty much, 81. So your generation, let me just say this. When I would go into I went into a fast food place and got something, went down, and the young lady was probably in your guys' age range.
Very young.
And I gave her the money, and she said, "Oh, the cash register's down." So she had to figure it out by herself. So
Wait, you paid in cash?
Hell yeah, I paid in cash. You know me, Jess. I pay in cash. So it was whatever it was, say $18.22, and I gave her a $20 bill. I kid you not.
I would be toast.
I stood there and I literally watched smoke come out of her ears, and she just stared. I said, $1.78. I It's at $1.78.
It would probably take me a minute to remember how many cents are in a dollar.
Oh, my God.
Is it like minutes or is it like
Is it minutes?
Yo, why did we do
60?
that with minutes, by the way? Why 60?
That's a great question. I would like to know.
100 seconds,
Why don't we just
100
have
minutes.
Why are all of our months different lengths of days?
That's
right?
the
Why
dumbest
couldn't we
thing
do
on
even
earth.
numbers?
I blame the Mayans.
All right, you go away so Jess and I can wrap up this show.
See ya.
Bye.
All right, now that my son's gone, we can actually get some words, and dude can talk.
Yeah.
Listen,
I think he takes after you, though.
Do I even talk that much, Jess? Holy smokes.
But I will say I've always admired how much energy Gojo always has.
He does.
And now we know it's because he was doing lines.
So yeah, how about it? My son Jake is like 15 months younger, so they were very close in age. Jake is very quiet, and when he got older, and we would say, Jake, you're pretty quiet. He's like, Mike talked all the time. He's like, I had no room to say anything, so I just sat there quietly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
I could see that. I could really see that.
Oh, yeah. Dude is unbelievable. Does not shut up. But I guess in this business, that's a good thing.
It is a good thing.
It was good.
He always has something to say.
When I finished up at that other place, when I mentioned you always say, oh, you're. Now, when I finished at ESPN, it was me, Trey Wingo, and Mike. Mike was kind of just coming into it, so he wasn't, as talkative as this. He was more respectful to his elders, unlike you.
Well, now it's fun and cool to be mean to boomers.
Yeah. Boy, it really is. Man.
Poor you guys.
And you know what? You do it well.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm very good at it.
Yeah, whatever. All right. So, first and foremost, when we leave doing this and you go to the people's house you're staying in, they're still not home, will you take food out of their fridge? I'm
going to look for like a piece of chocolate or something. I'm going to split the difference, go in the pantry. No, you never miss anything that's taken from your pantry, right? You don't know what's in your pantry.
You know what? You're right.
And when I stayed at your house, I stole food out of the pantry.
I
wasn't stealing.
You didn't steal it.
But I took
offered
food out of
it
your
up.
pantry.
I'm glad.
No one ever knows what the hell's in the pantry.
No, because again, I'm not getting it for you.
Right.
If you're in my house.
Well, yours is a laziness thing.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Thing.
That's exactly right. All right. Are you going to I have to recuse myself.
Yeah.
Being part of the broadcast team for Westwood One, I cannot make a pick.
That's so official sounding. I wish I could recuse myself for anything, but I'm not important.
No, you're very important,
What would I
Jess.
ever get to recuse myself from? There's really there's nothing that I do recuse. There's no recusable.
We're going to think something of what your recusable act would be.
There's nothing. I mean,
right
okay.
now, I
I
can't
think
think
you're
of
going to
any.
ask me for my picks. So I'm just going to pick. I want to pick the Eagles because I think they will win.
Right.
But I picked the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, which I got right, by the way, on our show.
Yep.
And honestly, who knows? I might have gotten the 49ers right, too, if Brock Purdy didn't get hurt. So we'll go
if,
that
ifs and buts. Come on.
1 for 2, but really 1 for 1.
Whatever.
I'm going to go with the Chiefs. The Mahomes factor is too strong.
You just can't go against them.
I can't go against him. I believe in him.
All right.
And I think it will be a very close game. And I think the Eagles are very, very good. And I do think they will win.
So the last most important question. So we work together, but then, we go our separate ways for a bit. If we were to run into each other at one of these Super Bowl parties, would you interact with me, or would you think that would ruin your kind of style if you're hanging out with an old guy?
You know what, Mike? I will say anytime I go anywhere with you, people always are coming up to you and saying hi, and you're just a very popular, famous, recognizable guy, and I think it would actually make me seem cooler, believe it or not.
So you would hang out with me not because you like me, but because of what you think it could do for you.
Yeah, and I'd probably get free drinks or something.
Yeah, I respect your honesty.
Yeah.
I respect your honesty.
I would have a terrible time because I'd be with you, but it would be great for me personally.
That's going to end it here. I'd like your father's number. I'm going to call him right after the show.
Mike, it was great doing a show live with you. We don't get to do this very often.
We don't. This was a lot of fun. Yeah. Until we're done and you just completely walk away from me.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
See
Goodbye.
you in Vegas
See
or something.
ya. Yeah, whatever.